Hello everybody, welcome to Artist Live. I am Tiffany Solorio and we will be creating this layout. I'll turn it around for you. And I apologize, I'm going to be creating upside down. I couldn't figure out how to get my camera to turn the right way for you guys. Let me see if I can turn up the brightness a little bit. Okay, so the papers I used is from 7 Dot Studio. I love them so much, and thought it would be cool to play around with. So let's get started. Sorry for my really messy craft mat. Alright, I'm just going to take them all out and figure out which ones. And you know, I did not print out a picture, so we're going to do without a picture today. This is the Cotton Candy Dreams. I'm going to find the ones that I used. There's this one and this one. So these are the ones that I used. Let me put these aside. Okay, I'm going to keep the stickers over here so that I don't have to find them later. I like to keep all my scraps and stuff in the same bag so that I know where to find them. Okay. Alright, so first we're going to work on the background because I am using some white crackle paste and it has to dry, but I will cheat and use my heat gun, but I'm going to do that first so that it has a chance to kind of dry a little bit. And I'm trying to figure out how I did this. Okay, forgot how I did that. Alright, so what we're going to do is we are going to tear the paper and just not all the way half, maybe a third down, and then kind of down a little bit more, and then back up a little bit. Hope that makes sense. Okay, just like that. And then we have this extra piece to use for our photo mat and then to stamp on as well. Okay, so I am going to glue this down, and I use fabric, well, I normally use Fabri-Tac. I don't know why sometimes I pick this up. I don't like it as much as Fabri-Tac, but I'm pretty sure it's almost the same. This one's Fabri-Fix. Okay. Generous amount of glue because I'm going to be adding some clear gesso and I don't want the paper to bubble too much. Hello everybody, thank you for joining. I haven't done a live class in a long time, so I'm a little rusty. Oh, got a little fly here. Wanted to join the show. You know, the kids keep the doors open and those flies come in real quick. Okay. I'm going to take some clear gesso and then I'm just going to gesso the whole thing. You want to use gesso when you're doing mixed media on paper because it allows you to have like when you add sprays and stuff, it doesn't soak through your paper, and it kind of creates like a barrier between the paper and what you're putting on top. I think that's the best way I can explain it. So if I was to spray directly on the paper, the spray would seep in the paper. So that's why we add gesso. And I do clear first if I'm using patterned paper and I want all the pattern to show. And then white gesso, I'm going to use some of that to kind of put here where I'm going to put all of my embellishments and flowers and stuff. And I use gesso even if I don't know exactly what I'm going to be doing. And it's just kind of a good starting point, I think. Make sure that I get on this here. And then here as well. All right. And I just take my paintbrush and just go under there because I didn't add any glue to this part because I want it to kind of curl up and have it gives it more like dimension. Okay, done with that. Next is let me see. See, I'm telling you, I'm not prepared and I apologize. Just gonna add some white gesso, approximately where I have all of my embellishments and all that stuff. It kind of helps frame your whole project, like when you add flowers and stuff. So I'm kind of going here and then down to one side almost. It doesn't have to be perfect. I don't really, just gonna spread it out a little bit with my finger. Just as long as some of it shows. Not really worried about it showing too much. I'm gonna add sprays and other stuff. Okay. Next is the crackle paste, and then we will move on to a couple other things while that dries a little bit. Okay, so I'm using this silicone brush, and I love these brushes. These are from Prima, and they're really easy to clean off, and they're really easy to use. So this is the white crackle paste. And again, I'm going to add it fairly thick, well, about a medium. So it's not going to be too thin and not too thick. I did add a little bit thicker to my original layout, but because this is live, I'm going to add a little bit thinner. The thinner the application, the smaller the cracks. And then if you add it a little bit thicker, you'll get bigger cracks. So it's all up to you. And with all of my projects, there's really no like perfect, you know, thing to what I'm doing. I don't know how to explain it. I just kind of go for it and see how it ends up. So, but I am kind of staying with up here is where I'm going to have my picture and a lot of my embellishments, and then down this way I'm going to have kind of more of the flowers coming down like that. So the little art stones are coming off. All right, so let me a little bit more up here. Okay, I'm gonna clean this off just so that it's clean. Forgot to get baby wipes this weekend. Okay. Any questions so far? I'm sorry for I hope the color and everything, the brightness and everything is okay. All right, so I'm gonna set this aside while this dries a little bit, and then we'll come back to it. All right. We are going to emboss some chipboard. So on the original layout, I used just a circle, and this I didn't have an extra one exactly like that. So this one has little circles on it, which is totally fine. And you can even use, if you don't have chipboard, you can use some string to create kind of a circle around if you wanted to. So, all right, stay there. Okay. Now where is my, so we use Versamark, and I just like this, smush it in really good to the ink pad, and the Versamark is going to make it sticky so that the embossing powder sticks to the chipboard. I wanted the circle to be really white, and this is the only way that I could get it to be really white, because if you use gesso, because these are like laser cut, it kind of creates, so you could see how there's lines there. Well, I don't know if you could see, but there's like a residue on the chipboard, and it doesn't allow you to make the chipboard completely white. So I'm using embossing powder. You could definitely use gesso or any other paint that you want. If you wanted to do that. Finding my, there it is. Right. This is a super fine detail embossing powder. I really like this a lot. I'm just gonna spread it around. Get most of it. I'm not too worried if there's a little spot that doesn't get any on there. I like those little imperfections. Okay, I'm gonna put this back, or else I'll have embossing powder everywhere. We're just going to heat this up and melt that embossing powder. So I don't know if you can see it melting. Almost done. Okay, so that is the result for that. And then I'm going to take that scrap paper the one that I ripped for the top of the layout. And I am going to use this stamp here. It is from Viva Las Vegas Stamps, Didi Catron. Sorry if I mispronounced her name, but I'm going to use this one. She designed this one, and I love her. She is so sweet. And I'm going to use Stays on ink. This is water resistant, and just going to ink that up. And kind of get where the pattern is a little bit. I'm gonna do 3 stars. I had to count how many I did. And maybe one there. And one more. Any questions so far? Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming. And this is being recorded, so if you missed anything, it'll be on YouTube later. Okay. I'm going to cut these out and try to see if there's any questions. And I am cutting off all of that cool squiggly stuff because I am actually going to stamp on my layout directly to get some of that cool texture this stamp has. All right. Making sure there's no questions. All right. I love 7 Dot Studio paper because it already has so much texture in it, and Didi Catron, she designed this paper as well. She actually only lives about an hour away from me. Okay. Almost done. Sorry for the boring stuff. Okay. So those are my stars. I'm going to get my chipboard so I don't lose it, my mess I'm creating over there. Okay, so we're going to go back to the layout, and I'm going to use my heat gun a little bit. And almost done, you guys. Okay, that is good enough for now. I don't know if you guys can see those cracks. Maybe. I don't know if it's gonna focus or not. It's kind of, I don't know why it's so dark on my screen. Okay, next we're gonna go in with some, can't remember if no, I stamped first. Okay, trying to remember. Okay, so I'm gonna take this stamp again, and I am going to use StazOn ink. And I'm only gonna put ink on some of the, like half of the stamp, and oops. So if you could see, you know, I'm gonna turn off the autofocus because every time I look up, it is focusing out of control. Let me see. Turn up the brightness a little bit. All right, so again, now I'm going to do the opposite side because I'm going to stamp on this side. And I loved all this texture and script and squigglies. Oh no, I did the wrong side again. Okay, just going to go down here. You can use any kind of stamp and to create lots of texture and interest for your projects. So that's what it looks like. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to go in with some light paste and a stencil. Okay. I'm going to clean off my brush real quick so that it doesn't get too mucked up. Okay. All right. Gonna like that. So this is light paste. I really like light paste. It's a little bit airier than modeling paste. And when you add different sprays and water or whatever you're adding, it doesn't change shape, like it stays. Unlike modeling paste, I find that it reactivates the modeling paste and then it just kind of creates like a little mess. So that's why I like light paste, and it dries a little bit quicker than modeling paste. And I like how the sprays and inks look on top of the light paste. It's kind of, it's hard to explain. The light paste is not gritty, but when you add sprays on top of it and stuff, it has kind of like a gritty look to it. It's not totally smooth. So I'm just adding these randomly, and a lot of these are going to be covered up, but that's okay with me. Every little bit of texture and different things you add to your projects, it just creates that much more interest and adds to the finished project. All right, let me do a few on this over here. Hope everybody's with me. Okay, and then probably a couple on this side. I think that's good. Okay, let me clean this off really quickly. Along with my spatula again. This is why my mat is so dirty. For a long time I kept it really clean, but I just get lazy, I guess. Okay, that's good for now. All right. Next, just gonna set it just a little bit. I think the stencil you can find on Amazon. I don't remember what link I gave, but I think it's available on Amazon, if I remember correctly. I'm sorry about that. All right, so now I'm gonna start figuring out where I want everything. Just gonna bend this back. And I did use some cheesecloth, and just gonna kind of tear it and snip it apart. I'm going to kind of squish the end here so I can create kind of that point so that, well, I didn't do very good. Let's see. Let's try that again. There we go. All right. Just kind of spreading it out, kind of getting it really raggedy. Okay, so that's gonna go like that. And then I'm gonna use this piece, and I want it to come down a little bit. Pretty good, I think. Actually, I'm going to cut this piece too, so it kind of comes to a point. Not a point, but so I can kind of tear the edges, because that was a kind of get it all raggedy. All right. Add some glue. And down this side. And I'm going to kind of scrunch it because I don't want it to be too much cheesecloth showing. I just want it to kind of peek out here and there. All right, you guys still with me? Oh, I'm sorry about the stencil. I know that there is, I should have checked all this stuff before I created, but I know that there is different star stencils out there. So, I'm sorry, you guys. Okay, I am going to use, where did I put that extra paper? Okay, I'm just gonna tear this just like this, and then that is gonna kind of be my picture. I forgot to print out a picture, so we're gonna do without a picture today. Okay, I'm gonna tuck that in. All right, I'm just gonna go in. I like to kind of place my different embellishments and things where I want them, and then once I have it all, I will start gluing. Let's see. You know what? I'm gonna do the sprays first, and let me get my paintbrush again. I'm going to add some gesso to the cheesecloth. I'm not adding it to the whole thing because I still want those kind of frayed edges. And then this way you get some variation when you add your sprays. Okay. Bye, Karen. All right, back to this. All right, I'm just gonna set this here so that I can see kind of where I want to spray and add my inks. And where did I put them? All right, so the main colors I'm going to be using is Poppy Field and Glistening Waves. I'm going to do kind of an overall spray of the Glistening Waves. Okay, and then without drying it, I'm going to go in and I'm going to kind of flick on some of this orangey color, orange-red color. Just a little bit. I love the orange in this collection, but I didn't want to use too much for this particular project. And then this way, kind of get a little bit of that pop of color. You can always use a paintbrush if you wanted to. Okay, and then to get it even more kind of blended and flowing, I'm going to use some water and then just tilt it back and forth. You know what? I didn't use pop. I used pot marigold maybe? This one looks a little too red. Yep. Alright, well, I'll go with it, I guess. Let me see if I can pick it up. Yeah, I'm going to pick that up. And I don't know if the, I'm sorry. I used pot marigold, so the orange instead of this red color. I don't know why I put that down. Alright, no biggie. Not a big deal. Alright, gonna add the orange now. And I'll give you the item number for this. It is 588755 for the pot marigold. So use orange, not red. I'm just gonna go over to get a little bit more orangey. And I don't mind the red. We're going to add several layers of color, so it's not really a big deal. Guess it just shows you that you can fix your mistakes, and almost anything is salvageable. It's just paper. Well, this project anyways. So I'm gonna let it flow, so I'm gonna tilt it back and forth. And then add a little bit more water here so it kind of flows down. I'm just going to catch it at the bottom. Add a little bit more of the glistening waves. Okay, and while this is still a little wet, I'm going to go in and add the dark color. So this is going to give your project a lot of depth, and this is Magic Stone. And again, I'm just going to kind of flick it on there, splatter it. And then this color is going to get in those cracks where you added the crackle medium. Okay, and then I'm going to add a little bit of water again, just a tad. and get it flowing. A little squirt here. It's all about just kind of playing around with the colors and different textures. Kind of takes a little bit of patience to get it how you want. Just going to pull this up a little bit, dry it off. All right. Any questions? Just gonna zap this with the heat gun real quick. Okay, and then I'm going to go in with a little bit more of that glistening waves. Tell I love this color, it's almost out. Alright, now the fun part begins. Well, I think that was pretty fun. All right, we are just going to layer, and I use this foam. I get it at Walmart. You can probably find it on Amazon or at a craft store. It's just kind of like kids foam. I think it's like 20 cents or something, and I find that it works really well to add dimension instead of pop dots. Or chipboard, I used chipboard a lot, but this is cheaper and lighter, so maybe not cheaper than recycled cardboard, but it works. Okay. It's definitely lighter, so it's not going to add a lot of weight to your project. Especially a layout, you don't really want too much. Oh, there's that little fly again. I'm gonna zap it with my heat gun. All right, I'm gonna add this to my layout, and then we'll start building up our layout with the flowers and other things that I added. Get my scissors. Kind of ended up gluing itself down, which I don't want, and that's okay. I'm just gonna carefully go in and kind of get some of that up so that, there we go. I'm gonna add a flower there, so, okay. Now, let's see. Thank you, Heather. Get another glue stick. I haven't been using hot glue. I normally only use hot glue when I'm doing a live stream just because it's fast and it dries fast. Alright, so I'm just going to add that there. And kind of rough up the edges on this. All right, I'm gonna add the circle on top this time. That way the picture can kind of go on the top of it. And I like all those dots showing too. All right, you guys with me? I'm gonna add this one over on that side. And then this one I'm going to add down there, but we'll do that in a second. Okay, now we're going to add the flowers, and I used a few different flowers. So this one, I'm just going to cut the stem off. And then I used this one. And let's see. Where'd that other orange flower go? Oh, there it is. Right, now we're just going to kind of build down a little bit. That one, and then this big one. And I do think that these flowers are discontinued, and I apologize. All right, and then I'm going to add a little bit of these ones. I like these ones. You get a lot in a pack for these ones. I'm sorry, Heather, I'm not even saying the names. See, I'm telling you, it's been a while since I've done a Ustream. Right, I'm just gonna kind of, and then also these as well. These are 586690, and these are some box flowers. And I love these. These have like script on them. They're really pretty. And maybe, no, we'll just do one. Okay. Move some of this out of the way. I'm getting really messy here. Alright, we're going to start gluing down. Actually, first, we're going to use some of this string. And this is upholstery string, and it's thicker than just regular thread. So it kind of holds its shape a little bit better. And I just take a bunch off and wrap it around my finger, and then I just kind of place it where I want it. And I move it around a little bit and then stick it down. And then so it just kind of adds a little bit more texture. This one down here. so I'm just layering the flowers. And then same thing over here. I'm going to take some of that string, wrap it around my finger, and then just kind of spread it out a little bit, and then put it where I want it. And I'm using hot glue to glue down all these flowers. And see, this one got a little bit of ink on it, and that's okay. It happened to my other one too. I can't wait for it to dry when I'm creating, so that's what happens. All right, and then I'm going to add the star, this one down here. So this is just another piece of that star, the stamp that I stamped, and I'm just going to add it right there. So it's kind of peeking out a little bit. So it's starting to come together, and all of the texture and sprays and everything that you add, it all plays into the end result of your project. Sometimes people ask, well, why do you add that if you're just going to cover it up? But it matters, because even just a little bit shows it. It just adds so much to your projects. All right, next we're going to add these pebbles, the art pebbles, and then also the art stones. Oops, my hair. I'm actually going to put up my hair. I have really long hair, and so I'm just going to put it up so I don't end up chopping it off or something crazy. All right. So these are really great. They have a lot of different sizes. And I think I used all of the little tiny ones. I think those are my favorite. So, and I just add them here and there. And then I add gesso to them, and then spray them on top. Let's see. Just adds a little bit more interest. All right, for these I am going to use the Fabri-Tac because the hot glue won't really stick to the plastic, because these are plastic. So, and then also because my layout is still a little bit wet, the hot glue won't stick. All right, I think I got them all. Put these back. Uh-oh, I'm sorry, I'm going over. I'm almost done, I promise. Okay, so we're going to add the gesso. Let's see, here's a little one. So I just paint it with gesso, and I'm going to paint some of these flowers. And then when I add some spray to the flowers, again, it creates a little bit more different look when you add gesso. And then this one over here. See, I'm not being very careful. I think that's what I love about mixed media, is that give you messy. Okay, I'm just going to add a little bit of, all right. While that dries, I'm going to mix together light paste and the art stones. Actually, I take that back. I'm not going to mix them together. I'm just going to add the light paste to the layout and then sprinkle the art stones and stuff on top. So I'm going to add a generous amount so that I can get those art stones into that paste. And you can use gel medium if you don't have paste. Add a little bit over here. A little bit under here. Just kind of adding it where I feel like I want more texture. And it's kind of all up to you how you want to create it. Turn it around and put some up here. Maybe a little bit over here. Okay. And clean my brush off. All right. Thank you. I see. It's so pretty. I'm thinking you're talking about my layout. And thank you so much. All right, art stones. Where did I put them? Okay, so I have the mini art stones, which I'm going to sprinkle on first because they're really tiny. And just a little bit because I want to make sure that I have some paste showing so that I can put the bigger art stones on. And I don't know if you guys saw, but Finnabair is coming out with some pretty cool stuff. The acrylic paint, oh my goodness, cannot wait. All right, now we're gonna add the bigger art stones, and I'm just gonna sprinkle these on and press them down into that paste. And I'll zoom in just a second so that you guys can see. And unfortunately, a lot of these will kind of fall off because I haven't found the perfect, I guess, recipe or system to kind of put these on. But I do love them. They're kind of a little bit of a pain because they get everywhere, but I love the end result, so I just keep using them. All right. Gonna keep doing that. Adding them here and there. All right, that's good. I'm already almost 10 minutes over, and I apologize. I'm sorry. Heather, I know you're modding, and I'm sorry if you have somewhere to go. Just let me know, and I can end it. All right, so I'm just gonna kind of dry brush on some gesso on top of the flowers here. This kind of finishes off the project, I feel, anyways. Normally I would use a bigger brush. But they're all in my water, so just going with what I got here. All right. Okay, and then I'm gonna go back in with some more spray, and typically you would want this to be dry, but it's all right. For the sake of time, we're just gonna go with it. And I'm adding the glistening waves. Maybe. It's really running low. All right. And then I'm going to add a little bit of this magic stone. Okay. Okay, Heather. That's good to know. Thank you, and I apologize. I knew doing this much texture and paste and everything was a little optimistic for a live show. All right, so I added a little bit of water, and then that way it can kind of seep in and hopefully you guys can see that. Create lots of texture and depth. Okay, next we're going to do a little bit of splattering. Just because I love splattering. Okay, and then I'm going to go in with Pop Marigold. Almost grabbed the poppy field again. And this time I'm kind of shaking it on there, this orange color, because I want a little bit more orange. Being a little aggressive. A little bit up here. And then just a little touch of water to get it flowing just a little bit. And let me, what color is that? Oh, you know what? I used alcohol ink. Like, what color bloom spray is that? I used alcohol ink for the pebbles. So I'm just going to add that to all my little pebbles. And a while ago, Miranda was on, and actually she's the one that got me to not be scared of alcohol ink. Although I don't use it as much as her, but I definitely use it a little bit more often than I used to. I'm just so scared of it because it stains and it's permanent, and I don't know. But anyways, so stickers, and then we're done. Okay, thank you guys for joining. All right, so we have these. These are going to be, I'm just going to rough it up with my finger here. And then stick it down there in the back. So it kind of pokes through. And then just kind of random ones. I'm going to rough up the edges on this one. Add that one here. Alright, and then we're going to add some of these stickers. So we'll do Life is Beautiful and actually let's do Being Normal is Boring. And let's see, Just Be You. Okay, so pretend there's a picture there. All right, and just gonna go in again, add a little bit more gesso on these flowers. And I'm gonna add a little bit of water to the cap of my gesso and then kind of mix it around, and then I'm gonna do some splattering. I think I used the Frost Color Bloom spray to splatter, but that is discontinued, and I'm so bummed because I love it so much. I actually found one bottle on Amazon and I paid like $18 for it, which is crazy. Because when it comes to craft supplies, I am cheap. I don't really like to buy expensive things, so, but I really love it. So I'm just taking it and scooping it and then just kind of splattering it on there. Gesso works a little better than the Color Bloom spray, but it's just a little bit messier, so that's why I always tend to just go with the spray, but I'm going to be using it a little sparingly since I can't find it anywhere else. Alright, I think that is it. Alcohol ink. It is Alcohol Ink Mermaid. I might have forgotten. I probably did, and I apologize. I will back this with a cardstock just because it's kind of heavy. But that is it, you guys. And you can use a lot of these techniques on pretty much anything to add texture. It's just about layering and keep building different layers. So adding a base of gesso, stamping, adding paste with a stencil, you know, just kind of layering your different mediums and different textures. Okay, so let me show you the one that I finished, the first one. It's my daughter. She's actually turning 6 soon. I cannot believe it. Let me turn it around. All right. So that is it. I'm gonna turn on the autofocus just so I can show you guys the texture maybe. maybe if it'll focus. No. Anyways, so thank you guys so much, and I will I'll go back and post a link on the original supply list for the alcohol ink. Thank you, Heather, so much for modding. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for joining, and I will catch you guys later.